What can you do to maximize the value of your injury case? Hi, I'm Nicolaysen, one of the owners at Springs Law Group here in Colorado Springs. And let's talk about what you can do to maximize the value of your injury case. So you've been injured in a car wreck to no fault of your own. And the question is now, what can I actually do to really help my case out? So the first thing I would recommend doing would be going to see a medical care professional, a doctor, an urgent care right off the get-go, because you want to start a clear and clean record of your injuries right away. A lot of times the adrenaline in your body right after a car crash can actually make it seem like you're not as injured as you really are. And then after that, you can follow the recommendations of that doctor or the referrals that they sent you to, which could be a chiropractor, physical therapist, massage therapist. So follow those recommendations. So if they're telling you to do home visits, home exercises, things like that, do those. But we also recommend recording those home exercises so that you have proof that you're actually doing the things that the doctor said to do. Then additionally, you're gonna have a lot of those appointments to go to, so make sure you actually go to them. So don't no-call, no-show or ghost your chiropractor, your physical therapist. It just doesn't help your case out at all. The next thing you can do too is to really track what we call your non-economic or your human damages. So these are gonna be things like your pain and suffering, your inconvenience, your emotional stress, and your loss of enjoyment of life. So I always think about it like this. Right after you've been injured in a crash, it may be harder for you to put your shirt on over your head if you injured your shoulder or your bicep or your neck or your back. So you want to be able to track that. So each day just write down what's hurting and what was hard for you to do that you normally could do prior to the crash. These would be your non-economic damages. And then also like your inconvenience is something too where you talk about that when you go to a chiropractic appointment, maybe it's only half an hour. But the reality is here, you're actually taking time off work, driving to that appointment, sitting in the waiting room, going to the appointment itself, and then driving back to work. So that half an hour appointment may actually be more like an hour to an hour and a half of your time. So those are some ways too, by tracking your non-economic damages and making a record. Putting it in notes in your phone or keeping a journal of it can be very, very helpful. The next thing to do would be some doctors may recommend that you get surgery. That may or may not be something you want to do, but at least go to the consultation where you can get information, because a surgical consultation can have power in regards to maximizing your case value, because then you can say, hey, I'm actually a surgical candidate. And then that information there would help bolster your case value as well, because but for this crash happening, I wouldn't be a surgical candidate. I would just be somebody living a normal life. So these are different ways that you can maximize your case value. And then the last way is actually by hiring a lawyer. A lot of people think that lawyers are just there to take the money. The reality is no, we're actually there to help you and to maximize your case value. One, by taking emotional stress off, but number two, by guiding you and giving you advice on which direction may be the best way to go. So we're not medical doctors, but we do understand the process and how that works. So if you're looking to maximize your case value, if you've been injured in a crash, reach out to us here at Springs Law Group.